You think he uses a condom? Or do you think he's just bare penis?
No, I think he's raw dogging it.
I'm under the impression there's no condom involved.
Yeah, I wasn't either. It's just a thought.
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Fisk. Fisk went 18 episodes with 3 seasons on ABC TV in Australia. Today we're talking about episode 1, which was called Portrait of a Lady, originally airing March 17th, 2021. So to get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, the boys, some of them, Gordo and Nick. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hey-o.
And just to get started, I apologize that we are a little short-staffed today. Joe has literally gone missing now that we are in 2026 because of the release of the gluten-free Cheez-Its. He has been on a mad dash searching for them, as some stores are reporting that they're available. And we literally have not heard from him in the last week or so. And Ferg's at work. So what's going on, guys?
Not much is going on with you, Jay.
Not so much, but this is week 3 of Fanuary. This was Bex's pick. She's won a Fanuary in the past. Bex coming from the other side of the ocean. She was very quick as soon as she found out that she had a pick in recommending Fisk, which luckily, although an Australian show, available on Netflix. So thank you for making a show easy to find for us to do.
Yeah.
Nice, a nice, good quality current show. It's always nice to see because I can't stand that old, awful quality crap.
As far as this show goes, did you guys have any prior knowledge of its existence?
God,
Nope.
no.
I had no idea. I mean, it was on
Never
Netflix,
heard of it.
Isn't Australia just like really strange? Because it seems like another planet. You have all of these actors, and I'm looking at the IMDb here, and I don't know anybody on this show, but I am positive other people in Australia do. It's just strange that, for instance, the main character has like 20 IMDb entries, right?
Yeah, Kitty Flanagan. I mean, she also created, wrote, and directed this show.
And she's really funny. I have never seen anything with her. They just kind of like exist on their own plane with no connection. Well, I'm sure they see all of our stuff, but we don't see any of theirs.
I would say that they probably export to a lot of Europe more than America. Like, I feel like the big ones come here.
There's stuff that obviously like makes its way to us, but it's literally the other side of the planet. I think for us, like, we live in a unique area where it seems that for whatever reason, U.S. entertainment seems to be globally recognized a little bit more than other countries. But I mean, every country really has their own self-sustaining entertainment industry with movies and music and everything.
So wait, where can you watch this?
Netflix.
This is on Netflix.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So, you can watch it right on Netflix. I mean, it was originally ABC TV, which is an Australian channel, not our ABC. Yeah, it's been available on Netflix for a while.
The Aussie Broadcast Network or Corporation.
Yeah, no, this is an interesting one to do.
Definitely not a sitcom.
I like this one because probably would have never found it ourselves.
Yes.
It was always going to need to be suggested. It's unique. It's interesting. It's a workplace comedy, which you always feel like you've seen everything. It's too much. There's so many workplace comedies out there, but this one didn't. I didn't get the another one vibe out of this one.
Yeah, see, an issue I have, and not with the show. This is going back to the Netflix thing. Is Netflix houses so much content, and they do not make it easy to find a fraction of a large fraction of what's actually on there for whatever reason.
Because they're too busy jamming movies that were made 25 years ago down your throat because they're leaving Netflix soon. So, like, go watch Behind Enemy Lines.
Also, too, there's only so much space in that homepage that you can have.
Yeah, but that's an interface thing, too, though. Like, if they just organized their stuff a little bit more and made it so I could just go on foreign comedies or whatever. Like they don't like have all these subcategories. You can just like click to.
That's the thing. Have you ever used the codes?
The secret codes you can do. Yeah.
Yes, those things are great. I do those for stand-up comedy on Netflix to like if I'm bored.
But it shouldn't have to be that way. That means it's organized. Yeah. That means like it's just change your interface in a way that we can see it. You've already categorized it.
Even Pluto TV, you have your categories. You have sitcoms, sci-fi, everything. You can go and find what you need. Why can't Netflix do that? I don't get it.
Yeah. Big fan of the history ones, history and science on Pluto.
And just to go over a few numbers, IMDb has a show 8.0. Rotten Tomatoes, only an audience score, 96% audience. As far as, again, watching it, Netflix is available for you. And for us, S1E1pod.com, and that's where you can find all the links to our social medias, S1E1pod, on X, Instagram, all that stuff, and then everything else S1E1 related. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I have a ton of information on this show other than what we had. Like I said, Kitty Flanagan, she's a comedian out there. She created the show. We're 3 seasons deep. There is no current plan for a 4th season, but it's also not off the table from what I read. But she's very much like, I will not do another season unless we have the cast. So everybody's just kind of been busy doing other things. And it's just like, if they can't do it right, she doesn't want to do it.
I mean, that's admirable.
I think so. I think a lot of shows are so like, hey, if we can make money, let's make money. And I feel like this is kind of something we see with a lot of, some of the British shows we've done too, where it's just more, and America's going in that direction. And we've kind of talked about that in past episodes, but it's shorter seasons. They're spaced out a little bit more. And it's just, it's less like just pump and dump 20 something episodes, a year at us.
Well, you're seeing less and less of that even over here now. Like I'm sure there's still network television shows that are, putting out that many episodes. But I mean, let's be honest, those network shows are not the best shows anymore. And it's not even close.
No, they don't put the effort into them anymore.
They hit every so often, but I feel like it's more dumb luck than intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone over, we've covered so many, but The
Office, as much as I don't like it.
But The Office has been gone for like 13 years now. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's the last network powerhouse I can think of.
And I can't see anything else like taking over quite like that lately.
I would say it was probably more popular streaming too.
That's also true. As popular as it was, I mean, it got very popular in its run eventually. Yeah. But it definitely took on a second life. But those, when you look at all the kind of top comedies that are out now, like nothing's hitting the same way. But it's also harder for everyone to watch TV. You know what I mean? Like there's no more like we don't all have cable. So it's like there's no show that everybody can watch. Everything's spread out all over the place. Yep. So it's like that's a whole other, we could talk for an hour about that.
I have an idea, guys. Why don't we make a app that's all of these streaming services and we call it Cable?
Yeah.
CABL.
It's almost like we ruined it for ourselves. But
you can't put it on us.
Well, cable got too expensive and they drove people away. And then once they drove people away, all the streamers were able to kind of like.
Yeah. And then they just became the big prices again. Yeah. We didn't do anything wrong, okay? I just want to make that clear. We're just being fucked by the man again.
We're just in a no-win. So anyways, I mean, I guess to just jump into the show itself, we start outside of a building, and then we see like a woman walk in, and there's a sign that says, vetted legal recruitment. It cuts inside, and we see her sitting opposite someone like at the desk for an interview. That's Helen, who's like the main character of the show, Helen Fisk, played by Kitty Flanagan. And she's interviewing. The woman's kind of going over a resume. She had worked for 10 years at another like legal firm, just kind of asking like what happened with that. And she said, oh, well, I moved to Sydney when I got married. And then my husband ran off with an older woman. So I thought I'd, head back to Melbourne. And now she's kind of at a temporary address and staying at an Airbnb and looking for some work. And they ask her if she has any references, and she does not, which is obviously a super red flag right off the bat when you don't have a reference from your last job.
Especially, like, all right, as someone who's had no references from previous jobs in the food industry, law is far different than cooking or most jobs. Like, you need a reference to get hired.
Yeah, you need a reference.
It's weird though, like every job's requirements. Like I've been so many job references where it's like either it's like a character reference, which like you legit don't have to pretend that you're anything but the person's friend and just speaking on their behalf, which seems pointless to me because
who's going to get a bad character reference?
yeah, like you're obviously going to ask a friend and you got to send it to them anyways.
It's like Jay giving a character reference for Gordo on his next job. This kid doesn't know anything. He makes stuff up. He just prints it out and hands it in.
Thanks.
Should we hire him? You can give it a shot. see what happens.
Honestly, no, probably not. But do what you want to do.
And then like I've also like, you know, been people's bosses. I've pretended to be people's bosses. Have you guys had to do these? I feel like I've done a lot of them.
Oh yeah. I've done both too. I would say like I have been told multiple times, hey, I put you down as a reference, expect a call. I never get the call. So I don't think these people are calling as often as they say they are, but I never get the call.
I think it depends on where you apply, because some people, you might be the third person on the list, you know, and they get like 1 and 2 that match up.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, I've been people's actual boss, and I've been like the friend, and it's they don't ask you anything.
So that was what I was going to ask. I don't know how it works.
So basically what they do is they call you. Like I've had this from one of my previous employees. They call you and they go, did this person work for you from X to X?
That's what I mean.
And you go, yep. And they go, okay, would you hire them again? And yep. Okay, great. Thank you. That's all that we need to know.
Because that's all they can ask. They can't ask about your feelings about them.
Nope.
They can only confirm whether or not they did work there in the past.
Yep.
I've gotten questioned a little harder before. Not like they've asked, like, can you name like a specific, like almost like job interview questions, like instance where the person, you know, went above and beyond or blah, 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 or, you know, what did they do for you, like at work and stuff like that.
That's excessive. I think that's too much.
So.
Putting a stranger who's not applying for a job at your company on the line for somebody you're just right. I don't know. That seems silly.
You gotta know too, it's a game. Like you're putting someone down, even like at my old jobs, like I'm friends with those people. Like they're just gonna fucking say whatever the fuck I tell them.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. It seems like a pointless system. Yeah, because you're obviously, even if it's someone who you actually work with, you're gonna make sure it's the one person who's going to like do right by you. So I guess if she has nobody, that's probably a bad sign.
Yeah.
On a character level, yeah.
They're kind of going over some stuff, and she's like, you know, I'll take any job. And the woman's going over like, can you do contract law? She's like, oh, that's like the one I'd rather not do. And she's like, all right, well, how do you feel about dead people? She's like, what? She's like, oh, well, Gruber & Gruber is a small firm, and they basically just specialize in probate court for wills and stuff like that. So like, yeah, that's fine. And then this was weird. And then the woman who's interviewing was like, and is this how you normally dress? She's like, yeah, every day. I have 3 suits exactly like this, and I never have to make a decision. It's great. She's like, oh, well, maybe you should like try to jazz this up a bit because you're like literally blending in with the furniture.
And then the guy comes in and sits on her thinking that he is
Yes, immediately after, because she did indeed.
Side real quick, did anybody else notice that this guy was basically painted white? He was the whitest human being I've ever seen.
He was pretty clear. Yeah.
It was wild. It blew me away. I was taken aback by how white this guy was. But also, she's a recruiter. She has to do that. Because if she sends slobs out, people aren't going to take her candidates.
I was going to point out something. I don't know if you guys have been to a recruiter before in the past. I have.
Once, yeah.
They're supposed to know sort of what the client wants. And immediately when she walks in and gets interviewed in a little bit by this client, they mention her clothes.
Yeah.
So like, she's not like, she's only doing like her duty.
See, okay, so that makes sense because I'm like, this woman's being awfully blunt with her. But I guess from that perspective, and I didn't think of that, like, she's helping her get a job. She's not the interviewer.
Correct.
So I guess, I didn't really look at it from that perspective. So it makes more sense now.
Yeah, because when I went through a recruiter, basically, like, they just sort of character interviewed me and said, all right, well, yeah, your resume looks good. I'll pass this along to this place. This is my current job. And I said, okay. And they're like, when you interview with the guy, this is what he likes. So they coached you through sort of the whole process of it, including like how to dress, how to act, how to, what points to hit. So yeah, that's all she's doing.
And I thought that gag with the guy sitting on her lap was pretty good. Like, he played it really well. It was like, it came off natural. And then from there, we get like the title screen pops up and some music starts. And it just cuts to her now walking down the street, like for her interview at the job she was recommended for, in the brightest of bright yellow banana looking suit.
It's so ugly. And it's not even the fact that it's a yellow suit. Make it any color. It's an ugly.
Yeah, it's also like a baggy kind of weird suit.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jim Carrey's The Mask.
She looks like she was like ready to like start a new fun baseball franchise in Savannah. Which Ferg's not here to yell at us today about it. So
thank God.
We can talk shit while he's not here. I don't understand. For those of you guys listening, most of you are probably familiar with the Savannah Bananas by now. They've like taken baseball by storm. Ferg hates that they exist more than anything on planet Earth for no reason other than it makes people happy.
Oh, that's exactly it.
Yeah, that's
other
exactly
people
it.
like it, so Ferg can't like it. But I don't know if he's ever actually given a reason why he doesn't like that.
Does he like the Harlem Globetrotters?
He hates comedy injected into things where he doesn't think they're supposed to be comedy.
Just play the game.
No one wants to see the Harlem Globetrotters just play. They massacre those poor other teams, the Bullets or whatever.
So she walks into Gruber and Gruber, and then you see her sitting down waiting for her boss to arrive. And we get George, who's like the paralegal, and he walks in and hands her some water. And he's just like, I like your suit. It reminds me of cheese.
I like George.
After he walks off, Ray, who's like one of the Grubers of Gruber and Gruber, walks in. As soon as he sees her, like right off the bat, he's like, whoa, strong choice.
He's great. He delivers the entire episode, yeah.
And then, like, it's funny because, like, I thought, like, he was really good in this. He's someone where, like, if you look him up, Marty Sheargold, he doesn't even have a photo on IMDb.
That's so weird when somebody doesn't have a photo at this time.
Yeah, it's like you star in a show, like a popular show. You don't have a photo?
Does somebody else have to do that, though?
It depends, like, what your level of fame is. Like, Paul Rudd's not there uploading his profile photo, but
yeah.
But usually if you have like an agency or something, they probably set that stuff up for you. And there's people who like privately can have an account. Like if you're like low level and have some credits, like you can make your own account.
He's pretty low level. He's been acting since 1999, but he's only been in 7 other things. So like he's only got 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. He's only got 23 other episodes and 2 movies it looks like he was a small role in. I mean, for the past almost 30 years now, he doesn't seem to be a steady working actor. Maybe he's got another revenue stream.
Maybe he's taking up dick painting.
Maybe he's a real lawyer.
Yeah. So he walks in, introduces himself. She goes, hello, Helen Tudor-Fisk. He goes, Tudor fish? He's like, what's that? Is that Dutch? Fisk with a K. I thought he said tuna fish, but when I played it back, it was Tudor fish, which is still just as funny.
More like Puda fish.
Yeah, just like that. I don't care if I'm outnumbered. I'm not selling that. And then he's like, Fisk, like Justice Anthony Fisk? Like, yeah, that's my dad. Oh, a great man. And I guess like he was like a Supreme Court justice. And he's like, I went up against him a few times. I like this style. He's very talky. Basically, like, as soon as he finds out that like that's her dad, the job was pretty much as good as hers. That kind of like bypassed the whole like not having a reference, which he asked her about as well, and all that other stuff.
You think it would be offensive to call her Pudge?
Why would you call it Pudge?
Is that not what Carlton Fisk's nickname was? Did I make that up?
Oh
yeah, it just okay.
It didn't hit me.
That was him, right?
I thought you were talking about Pudge Rodriguez.
But no, I thought Carlton Fisk's nickname was Pudge, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right.
Oh yeah, no, nickname Pudge.
No, I think you're right. I
was thinking of the wrong baseball player.
the other Pudge.
Yeah, well, that just came out of left field.
He tells her that she's getting the job because of a couple things. First, in their experience at their job, it's better off to get older people because it makes people more comfortable. He's like, what do you like, 50, 55? It's like 47. Yeah, that's good enough.
All right. What do you think Joe's take will be on her? Because I'm telling you, he's going to be into it.
I don't think so.
I think he's into it.
I don't think she's an ugly woman.
No, I think she's attractive too, but she's
Well,
definitely
Joe, who
older.
leans older. I'm sure he.
I think she's a Joe girl.
No,
We'll find out
because
later.
she's too close to our age.
Yeah, he might be right there. Yeah.
That's a spry young lad right there.
Lass.
And I think because of his marital situation, he can only admit if there's like a plus 20 on his current age. I think anything too close, he'll keep zipped up if he won't say anything about.
True.
And then also the fact that she's like plain and simple. He's like compared her to a horse at one point, and she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah, that's me, plain and simple like a horse."
She's very deadpan, dry, really, and she does it really well. It's very well done.
It was so well done that I didn't laugh once in this whole episode. I was just like, "What the?"
I had a few a laugh out loud moments.
Really? Because I did not.
I laughed as soon as I saw her walk out dressed like a banana.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few things. Yeah, so basically, she gets the job. She's told, "Okay, I'll see you Monday," and basically says, "No yellow, no high vis."
No high vis. I like that. Yeah.
So she heads out of the office, and now she crosses paths with Roz as she's leaving, who we find out that Helen's replacing. I was so confused until I got explained.
Yeah.
So I guess the way it works out is that I'm still kind of confused by it. So Roz is Ray's sister. She's
the other Gruber.
She got fired, but now she's office manager?
No, she got disbarred.
No, not disbarred. She got suspended. So it sounds like she did something to lose her law license temporarily.
Yeah, so she can't go to court and be a lawyer, but...
Well, see, that's the interesting thing. They are, if you notice, they are solicitors.
Yeah, that's a lawyer.
I understand that. But solicitors don't go to court. Solicitors handle things like this in probate, where they will prepare all the documents that need to be seen in court and things like that. But barristers are, I guess, the people who are in court. So
the old-timey, we just merged them in America.
Yeah, everybody's a lawyer. These people are lawyers. Gruber and Gruber are lawyers. They just, the way they advertise the Gruber and Gruber law firm is that they are the solicitors, which is basically just like the people who deal with all the, like Jay had mentioned, all the probate shit involved with wills and stuff like that. They're not going in front of juries and arguing cases. It's just telling you that that's what they do. But funny story, I was looking into this kind of piqued my interest, so I was doing a bunch of Googling. And one of the things I Googled was, and I just put it in our chat, you don't need to see it, and I know it's a podcast, is what's the American equivalent of a solicitor? And it basically just tells you, the AI overview is that it's just an attorney or a lawyer. They all know how to do it, but this is just why they're called solicitors. But they give you a little image. If you were to Google, how does an engine work? It'll give you the AI overview, and then it will give you a picture of an image, whatever. It doesn't matter what you're Googling. It gives you a little picture of it. I didn't think anything of it. It was just a lawyer sitting at a desk. I didn't realize until I looked at it, the image Google decided to use is David Schwimmer as Robert Kardashian in the OJ thing. I put it in our chat if you want to look at it. But when AI is trying to explain law to you, it uses the fictional David Schwimmer as its image.
So, Nick, it looks like that solicitors do go to court.
They can. They typically don't.
It says local court, family court, children's court, and for general matters, but for complex cases, that's when they go to the barrister.
Yeah, you're not going to be there's no criminal cases or anything like that.
So now Roz, who still will be working there because it's still her law firm, she just is limited in what she could do, I guess, is talking to her brother after Helen leaves. She's like, "Oh, where's the reference?" She's like, "Oh, the agency forgot to send it." But she's a Fisk. It's what does that mean? It's "Oh, Justice Anthony Fisk. That's, his daughter. And she's she's very standoffish towards Helen, like from the second she sees her. You know who she reminded me of? Roz is played by a woman named Julia Zamiro. But, if they did an American version of this show, Lauren Ash, I think, would be like the perfect person to play her.
Is she from Superstore?
Superstore, Not Dead Yet, that we did this past October.
Yeah, I definitely get that vibe.
If there was a U.S. version of this show that comes out, Lauren Ash 1,000% plays this role.
I could also see.
I could see that.
The Angela from The Office vibe. Could
Sure.
do that too. It's just your typical bitchy, don't know why they're bitchy bitch, if that makes sense. They're just mean for no reason.
Next scene, we see Helen, and she's at her Airbnb, and she's just sitting with her dog and eating some cereal when a girl comes at the door, and her name's Juliana, and apparently Helen called her because Juliana's grandmother owns the Airbnb and keeps walking into the house and keeps doing things, and she's complaining. She's like, well, this is my house while I'm renting it. She's like, no, it's not. It's an Airbnb. It's not the same as renting a house. And she's like, well, it's the same thing. She's like, no, it's not. And I guess Juliana's grandmother's going in there and she's cleaning up the house. And she's she keeps taking her shoes and bringing them outside. And she keeps cooking her food because she doesn't like how she's eating, which, yeah, not the worst thing, right?
Right. But it's also why I don't use Airbnb.
I love Airbnb. We've talked about this before. We've had these.
Well,
these
no,
conversations.
Gordo doesn't use Airbnbs because he thinks he has to cook.
That's
I do
true.
have to cook. But also, too, it doesn't come with free continental breakfast, which is a big selling point for me.
It all depends on A, what you're doing, and B, what you want. If you're going to be somewhere for a while, say you're on a business trip for a couple weeks, you have to go Airbnb. Hotel sucks. It's the same small room all the time. You want to be able to do something for yourself in an Airbnb.
Listen, I don't want the Airbnb owner walking in while we're there doing shit.
That's not legal. It doesn't matter where you are. You can't do that.
But no, I like an Airbnb. I mean, we've talked about this so many times. But if I'm traveling with a bunch of friends and we could all have our own living space, our own beds, separate rooms, have an area where we can all hang out in between. That's nice. When you travel, I mean, if you're just going away with you and just your wife, I mean, it's different to a degree. But when there's a bunch of people, it's nice to have that. You have your own room. You could still all hang out. When there's 3 different rooms at a hotel, it's not the same. You all just eventually just go to one room. You're all just sitting on someone's bed for a while until it's time to go out. It's it's not the same vibe.
Also, the grandmother who we meet in a minute, her name is, I'm going to get it wrong, but I believe it's Lien Yeomans. But she's an actress, but she's also a very popular Vietnamese chef in Australia.
Okay, I was gonna double check to see what they were. So Vietnamese.
Well, she
great.
comes out with a bowl of pho later, so I kind of put together that way.
It's not faux.
No, it's spelled pho. It's pronounced pho.
I was gonna say it's one of Nick's favorite.
I had it 2 nights ago. It's delicious.
I don't like Vietnamese food. They put too much cilantro and everything.
Get it without cilantro. I don't like cilantro either.
No. I got that gene.
Get it without cilantro. What don't you get about this?
No, ramen is where it's at.
I'm going to take you out for pho. Have you never had pho before?
No.
Oh, man. We got to go. Chinatown pho pasteur is unbelievable. But I've also never had a bad bowl of it. It's pretty easy to make, so everywhere has it really well.
Okay.
I guarantee you'll like it.
Okay, I'll try it.
I think I've had it once or twice. It's not something I've had a lot of. To me, it's still just soup plus. At the end of the day.
Well, no, it's because I don't know. So you're supposed to also kind of garnish it and add sauces yourself. You can make it. It comes as a blank slate. So you add your hoisin, your hot sauces, if you want to put the onions and the bean sprouts and the scallions and stuff in. So it kind of comes as it's not bland. The broth is really good regardless, but you plus it up however you want. And that's the thing about pho. And it's loaded with those rice noodles too, which is really, it's fun to eat because, you can chopstick them out and everything. It's more than, because your traditional soup is just like, your meats and your pasta usually with vegetables and stuff. And yeah, it is the same thing. It's just feels different. I don't know how to explain it. It is different.
Yeah, it's more soupy than stewy.
Oh, it's definitely not a stew. Yeah.
The grandmother in question walks out during this argument, and she's holding Helen's shoes, and she sees her granddaughter. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And it's all, they're not speaking in English, so it's all through subtitle. So Fisk has no idea what's being said. Oh, she's complaining that you keep coming in here. Tell her shoes belong outside. I don't want dirt inside. And then she says, I don't think she takes care of her dog. Doesn't seem like she feeds him. He's always hungry.
To be fair, my dog is always hungry.
Yeah, most dogs are always hungry.
Yeah, I think that's the joke, is that every dog will just keep eating if you let it.
Yeah, I think they'll kill themselves if you
put, man, when I had my dog, there was like never ending begging. And there was probably like once or twice ever where I fed her so much food, like from my food, where she finally tapped out and was like, okay, I'm good. And she basically had to eat she had to eat her body weight in rotisserie chicken before that would happen.
Oh yeah. When the rotisserie chickens come out, this dog, they know, because they can smell it, and they know when you're carving it, you're going to throw them the scraps.
It's like the most shareable, easy food to share with the dog too. Although
the last time we did it, the dog got some pretty wet poops afterwards, so now I'm scared to do it again.
Martha and the cat, they both go nuts over rotisserie chicken.
Your cat goes nuts over it?
Yep. She jumped at, she's dying, so,
Gordo, she's been dying for 2 years, according to you. I think she's fine.
So ever since her brain got scrambled, she just, starts eating, human food and acting like a cat, I guess. But, I put, shredded up, chicken in a bowl. She fucking devours it.
You just said your cat acts like a cat now?
Yeah.
Weird.
So weird.
yeah, you should go to a vet.
We do. Multiple times. Buy a t-shirt, S1E1pod.com.
So these girls exit, and you get Juliana's giving her a dirty look as she's leaving. All the while, we had Helen talking, but it was they were disregarding anything she was saying. This happens to her a lot, kind of there's a lot of points where Helen's trying to talk while other people are talking at her, and she just can't get words in. She talks, but nobody's ever listening. And this wasn't exclusive to when people are speaking a different language. I felt like this happened in her pre-interview, in her interview. This is always happening to her.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, so that's a good observation.
I didn't either.
We cut later. She walks into this very hipster coffee shop, and she's sitting there while this guy's working at a side table, and he's got his Bluetooth in his ear, and he's being super loud, and he's laughing and shouting, and he's being super annoying. And she's looking at a girl at another table, and they kind of give each other the eye to be oh, this fucking guy. He's having a hard time hearing whoever he's talking to. He's mate, you hear me? Jeff, can you hear me? And then she's mate, we can all hear you. 2 seconds later, a girl walks up to Helen and is hi? Hi. It's I'm sorry, but we have to ask you to leave. Leave? For what? It's you can't shout in a cafe. It's I didn't shout. You were talking aggressively, and, that vibe was really loud. The girl was it was good casting. She looked like a girl that would work in a coffee shop like that.
She did, yeah.
Yep.
I'll say, in the moment, this stuff reveals itself later in the episode, but I'm what? What's going on?
So I saw the reveal. I won't get into it right now. I saw the reveal coming. But, man, the stink I would have put up over this scenario. She walks it off, and it's fine, whatever. I'd be throwing furniture if I was treated that way.
Yeah, I can get very aggressive in those moments. Especially, this is the coffee shop directly downstairs from where you work. So, you can't be, banned from this place. It's kind of important.
How do you feel about the coffee shop workers? I've done it. I've been the coffee shop worker before. Sometimes you want to change a scenery, you go down there. You don't take phone calls, though. You just don't do that. Sit there and quietly do the work you have to do. If you get a phone call, go outside, go back home, go back to your office, whatever. Nobody wants to hear your fucking conversation.
Oh, I worked at a Starbucks. I thought that's what you meant. I was like, I did that once.
Yeah.
I've never like worked from
No,
home.
yeah, no. I meant like, the people who go in, they set their fucking office up on a Starbucks table.
And just the same, and not with, to not get too ahead of some of the other stuff, but like, there's also times where we've gone into places of business where, whoever works at the establishment or whatever treats their storefront like it's their office.
Yeah.
So instead of like doing your business in the back or wherever else, it's like, I don't know if it's like cool to have your computer set up in the middle of like where people are supposed to eat and drink, but like it's just super distracting and usually comes off really weird.
Yeah. Usually young business owners who just like their friends hang around, and it is very off-putting.
Hey, sometimes I've been in that position. Sometimes you don't have a choice.
That's different though. But like we've seen cases where it very much was avoidable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now she's stuck in this weird situation where she's being asked to leave, and she's like, I didn't shout at anyone. And then she's like, this is like shouting. And then she starts shouting and she's like mimicking the guy. He goes, well, hey, Bevo, yeah, I'm an important businessman. Business. Numbers. I'm important. She's like, that's loud. What I was doing before that, however, was a perfectly normal speaking level. And then the girl's like, can you just please go? Like, a lot of us find shouting to be really triggering. And she's like, all right. And then she like heads out. I'll tell you, listen, I'm very sensitive to like what other people need. But I am starting to become triggered by the word triggered. Like, it's the most like ultra sensitive. And I am
because it gets abused too. The word it's used too much in places that like
now it's like it's turned into like a get out of jail free card, and like people who have like legitimate issues and like.
I don't think you're alone though. I would say most people are probably triggered by triggered now.
Yeah,
probably
because of the certain group of people that are often triggered have just spent the last 5 years just annoying the populace.
And it's just one of those things where, like I said, like there are so many people that legitimately have issues, and it's been like engulfed by people who just use that as an excuse to getting out of anything that like slightly annoys or bothers them.
It's the same thing as service animals. Like people took that and they went the country mile with that. Fucking alligators and peacocks and all sorts of stupid
I mean, it
shit.
didn't help that we didn't seem to have any restrictions on how to or what you can get for a service animal. You know what I mean? Like,
so actually, funny that you should say that. If it comes to seeing eye dogs,
they need to be able to see. Yeah.
Yep. They have certain criteria. Hearing dogs, however, no criteria whatsoever. So as long as they like pull on you, they're technically a service dog.
Because they can be emotional support dogs, and there's no way to document how a dog can be emotionally supportive to you. So they can technically be service dogs too, which is, it sucks for the people who actually need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, there are people out there who legitimately need the, like the compassion of a dog sometimes if there's nobody else around to help them through something. And then you've got just fucking annoying, like Paris Hilton knockoffs who want to take their dogs everywhere and then use that as the way to do it.
Yeah.
But circling back a little bit to the argument in the coffee shop, do you feel like that this was kind of a way to like see her argumentative abilities as a lawyer? Because I feel like that was just her like very calmly explaining why she thinks she's right, and that you I got like the okay, so she is a lawyer vibe from that scene before she even gets to the office.
I didn't look at it that way.
No.
It just like felt like there's like more of the world shitting on her. It all like every scene just seemed to be like people just dumping on her at all times.
Right.
Yeah. Almost like that what was that David Cross show we did?
Oh yeah, the one where he moved
Todd
to
Margaret.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's the vibe that I get from her.
Well, in both scenarios, I think you can kind of blame them. You get into it more later here, so I won't talk about it too much. But it's possible that it's their fault.
She leaves. She walks into work, and then we get George, who's like meets her at the door, basically starts taking her picture. She's like, what's this for? It's like, oh, it's for the like who we are page. I'm the webmaster. It's like, oh, and he like keeps taking more. It's like, I think you got enough. And then she looks at it and she's like, oh, no. You should probably take some more. And then like maybe like throw a filter on that or something.
I love this guy. He's so funny to me for some reason, George.
Meh. I didn't find it's again. I'll save my comments for the end. But
Did you watch the show? Or was it like on your phone in the corner of the room while you were fucking petting the doodle?
No, we both watched it.
You and the doodle.
Yeah.
I believe that the guy who plays George, if I read correctly,
Aaron Chen.
I want to say in the thing I read with Kitty Flanagan that he might have moved to America. He's been doing, he does comedy and stuff. And that's like one of the reasons why like doing another season would be difficult because like you got to get everybody together.
Yeah, back to Australia. So yeah, I mean, the last thing he's done is Fisk. So he's been on hiatus since the show. He's probably one of the actors who's like probably okay with getting the show going again.
Yeah.
He does have one upcoming, something called The Dink. I bet you anything. There's no picture. I bet you anything that is pickleball related. Yep, it is. A washed-up tennis pro tries to save club by reluctantly playing pickleball. Yeah, I lost my track of thought on him. But even if he's in America, he's not doing anything.
Yeah, maybe he's just doing comedy stuff, but I don't know for sure. So now he walks off, Roz walks in. That's when she like officially introduces herself to Helen. She's like, I'm Roz Gruber, I'm the office manager. She's like, oh, if you've met George. Oh yeah, the webmaster. Like, webmaster, he's our probate clerk. And if you have any questions on like the process, like see George. And then she says, oh, you said Gruber? Like, so you're one of the Gruber and Grubers? It's like, oh yeah, I'm Ray's sister. So like, why are you the office manager and not a solicitor? And George like chimes in, oh, she's been struck off. Like, I have not been, I'm just temporarily suspended. And like, this is where like when they were going over like that whole thing when I'm like, man, there's something about this situation I don't understand that I wish was like, it just went over my head, but it was like, I think as we've talked about it, I understand a little bit more. But I spent a lot of this episode being like somewhat confused by what her position was in this office.
Yeah, that's probably intentional, I think. At this point in the series, the pilot, I imagine they're probably being intentionally ambiguous to kind of get you wondering yourself.
And now we have it so she's taking Helen on like a little tour of the office overall. So she takes her into the kitchen and she's like, you know, like here's like, you know, everything we got, like this is all common use, like not this stuff over here. This is like just kind of my stuff. Ray walks in, you know, it was like, oh, good morning. Like I got some files to get you going, and he hands her some stuff.
Wait, you've all, I believe, you know, worked in an office or, you know, shared area and it had the shared kitchen. I have recently, I don't work in an office anymore. I work from home, but I did work in an office for a long time. And the stealing of food was a thing. And I just can't wrap my head around stealing somebody else's food. Like recently a coworker was talking about how he had like those like tuna packets and stuff like that and a bunch of those and somebody had taken them. I'm like, well, that could be construed as like kind of like a group thing. But then another coworker of mine had like a sandwich he only ate half of, rewrapped it and put it back in the fridge, and somebody ate it. And it's just, who would ever think that that's okay? And the fact that I probably work with that person who's psychotic enough to just eat somebody else's food that's obviously not theirs or, you know, communal.
I've seen it a million times over. Old jobs, at my current job. I've seen people get caught doing it, which is the wildest thing.
Oh, I've never seen someone get caught.
There's been like known people who have done it, and then like you have to have like such a I don't give a shit or I'm so stupid demeanor to you.
Yeah, I don't want to know that person either way.
And it's one of those things where I remember like I have this clear in my head when I was a kid, when I still worked at a supermarket. I was young, and there was a girl that was crying like in the checkout area because like her grandmother made her like favorite thing for her, and someone just ate it out of the fridge. And I'm like, that's just so bizarre. Like, imagine even if you were starving and you were desperate and you're sitting there in the break room eating something and that person walks in and catches you. Yeah. That's going to be the weirdest, most awkward circumstance. Yeah. I could never dream of doing that.
It's a very common trope too. Like you see it in movie and TV and real life. We've all experienced it. I just can't believe it is that prominent. Just that there are that many people that think it's okay. Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, people do it everywhere. So it's like it's wild. Like there's certain like maybe a drink you could see like someone being confused, seeing like sodas in the fridge or something like that, and you didn't know that someone just brought their own. But like,
yeah, if you have like a prepared like chicken dinner in the fucking fridge
Tupperware,
or
yeah, it's like
this is not just for anyone, obviously.
Yeah, I don't. I would go fucking crazy. I would legit I'd be so pissed.
I'd get physical.
So yeah, Ray walks in, hands Helen a bunch of files, be like, "Oh, you ready to get going?" Roz like, "Do you mind? Like, I'm in the middle of like induction." He's like, "This isn't the Hall of Fame. There's not a lot to do." And he looks at Helen and goes, "Sorry, like she hasn't had a lot to do since she was struck off. She's like suspended. I've been suspended, not struck off." So like Roz heads over to the next room. Helen chases after her. And this is when she's like, all right, so, and I have the toilet key on this hook and it's by my desk and it's to be returned at all times. She's like, oh, where's the toilet? She's like, oh, up there. So why do you lock it if it's inside? Because she thought it was like a common use toilet, like on like the other floor. So people keep it clean. It keeps them like, in order. Like, yeah, but do you check it every time? Well, no, I don't check it every time. She's like, well, if you don't check it every time and then someone makes a mess of it and then I go in after and then you check it, you're going to think I did it.
See, this is another instance of her being just really good at arguing. Because both these times, she's made really good points.
I'll give her this one, and this one makes more sense. And yeah, it's like, it's especially for such a small little law firm where there's only like 4 of them working and used to be 3 of them. And now like you're going to have the occasional customer come in here. Like to lock the bathroom at all times is just so excessive.
I think I would have passed on this job on the spot right there when this bathroom discussion came up. But then I thought about it. I could just make a copy of the key and not tell her I have a copy and just use the bathroom whenever I want.
Or, hear me out, you got to take a power deuce to establish dominance.
You bring the key back and be like, go check that one out.
Yeah. I mean, you know that there's some nasty, nasty shitters in there if someone had to do that.
Yeah, I guess it started somewhere.
I just like... Now, me on the other side of the coin, who doesn't like talking about bathroom stuff all the time, I don't want to have to tell my coworker every single time I'm going to use the bathroom.
No, I don't want that either.
No.
That's an awful experience, and I would argue that maybe it's not allowed either. I don't think this might not be allowed. I don't know how they do it in Australia. Again, I don't even know if it's illegal here, but I don't think you can lock the bathroom on employees anywhere.
Maybe if you're like a restaurant and you only have 1 bathroom.
Yeah.
I get that, but even then, like, that's still fucked up. And someone's definitely watching you, Duke. They're taking notes.
Right.
Imagine having to be the guy that takes the Dookie notes. Oh, that Jay over there, he's a power shitter.
Who takes notes? I don't understand. Well, I don't get what you're saying. Why is there notes?
Yeah, what?
Because what happens if somebody does do, say, like a nasty doo-doo, right?
She talks to the person and says, what the fuck? Why?
What, don't doo-doo? Like, what are you going to say? Like, you're just not going to let them to use a bathroom again.
I see what he's saying. I like, what is the point?
No, you don't. He's just so excited to talk about toilet stuff that he just wants to make this conversation last forever.
It can be both. But yeah, like,
me?
is she ever going to deny you the key is the question.
Yeah.
And if no, then you shouldn't be holding the key.
So we cut to Ray and he's talking to George in like the main area when the 2 women happen to be walking in. Ray's like, all right, well, now that you guys are sorted out, like, I'm going to take you over to like where like your makeshift office is basically going to be, because they don't have like anything sorted out for officially yet. And then we see her like working in like her new ish area when Roz walks in with a client for her. And she's like, oh, Helen, this is Ruth O'Malley. Ruth, I'm going to leave you here with your new associate, Helen. And don't you leave without giving me that apricot chicken recipe. And then Helen like chases Roz out the door and like talks
Helen
to her
is
outside.
mortified.
She's like, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, like this is your first client. It's my first day. I thought like maybe I'd spend like the first week like getting reacquainted with probate law and stuff like that, before you just throw a client at me. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Is this job not to your liking? It's like, oh, no, it's fine. I guess that's That's all right.
I kind of agree with Helen.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that any new job, there's an easing in process for sure.
You don't work day one.
Not like a client like this. Like, no, that's a little much, I think.
I also think Roz is like kind of trying to set her up to fail too, so that's why it's happening.
It's like if Helen's successful, it like affects her position when her suspension ends in her head. But it's still her namesake. It's still like Gruber and Gruber, right? So like,
Sure.
It's not like she could just replace you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. I don't really understand her motives for wanting to sabotage her.
Yeah, like even if she does a great job, then you just like leave her on the staff when you...
Yeah, she's just making Gruber and Gruber better.
Right. But there's something about her from day one. Well, this is day one. From moment one where she's like uneasy about her being there, I guess.
Do you think it stems from her not having the reference?
I just think it's insecurity. Like, I just think it just comes down to that.
Yeah.
And she's just finding anything she can to like go against her.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with Helen. I think it's just her.
Yeah.
So now Helen walks back in. This is when she starts. So now she's talking to Ruth, the client. And she's like, "Oh, what can I do for you?" She's like, "Oh, well, hubby suggested that I should see." It's like, "Husband, don't say hubby." Like, "Oh, are we on the record?" She's like, "No, I just really hate hubby. For some people, it's moist. For me, it's hubby."
I do too. I hate that. Wifey, hubby.
I just think it's a little much to jump down a client's throat immediately for word choice.
Yeah, you're immediately seeing her just like kind of like social ineptitude, I guess, as far as just like conversing with a client.
There's a lot of times where you see Helen in situations where she is like victim of misunderstanding. A lot of that happens with her, and she kind of gets the short end of the stick.
She doesn't have malice.
Yeah. But here, she's being like a little like, I don't think there's malice here either, but like her situational awareness is like not awesome. Yeah.
I don't like her. Like, I'm starting to not like Helen.
I mean, I don't dislike her, but I can see why you wouldn't.
She's just like infuriating. Like, just shut up and let your client talk.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe from her. I felt like she was a somewhat endearing character.
She just can't move past like she has a job. She seems to be good at her job, and she just wants to get the job done, but she's not good with the nuances that are involved with dealing with a client one-on-one. And she told the recruiter this at first. She said, "I'm not a people person."
Right.
She tried to be honest, but it backfired a little bit.
They're talking now. It's like, "All right, well, I'm sorry." And she's like, "So my mother died." She's like, "Okay." And then she like takes a beat. She's like, "And I'm sorry for your loss." She's like, "Thank you." And in her will, she left her estate to me and my brother like half and half, only with one condition. And then she's like, "Oh, is that the will?" And she starts reading. And she's like, "Oh, this can't be. Like, this says that like your brother only inherits half the money if he has a vasectomy." Like, yes, like you can't put conditions in your will like this. Now, I was wondering, can you?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I couldn't get a clear-cut answer, but I don't think you can.
I don't think... so here's the thing. You can put... I would say, if I'm going to put my scholar hat on now...
So take all of this with a grain of salt for those of you listening.
I would say that if it's medical related, I don't think that you can do it. But I think like reasonable restrictions are probably okay, and it's probably up to the individual case.
Like what? What do you mean? Like,
okay, so Nick, you inherit half my money, but 10% or 5% has to go to the animal shelter.
well, yeah, sure. Obviously, that's legal. We're talking about like
You can't do medical.
You can't have a medical procedure be a stipulation legally anywhere.
No, I don't think so.
And my thing here is like, but like, it's obviously wild, right? The situation that we have just heard is wild. But I can see like the argument of like, okay, well, that's what I want. You don't have to do it. But if you don't do it, you don't get all this free money. You know what I mean? Like, so I can kind of understand how it in a weird way could be legal because you're not forcing anyone to do anything.
I think only if the person is alive. I don't think that you can have the state compel someone civilly to have a vasectomy.
I don't think you can do it anyways. But they also, I don't know if you mentioned this already, Jay, but they mentioned that Ruth's brother, the one who's supposed to get the vasectomy, has 5 children with 5 different women.
Yes.
And she rightfully doesn't want him to get a bunch of money if that's how it's just going to end up getting spent.
But it doesn't change her half regardless, right? So, like, if he gets half, whether he blows it and has 10 kids with 10 more women, like, it doesn't change.
Oh, well, no, it does. It does because she's trying to cut him out of the will, so she gets 100%.
Yeah, is that what she's trying to do, though? Is she trying to get it all unless he gets a vasectomy?
Correct. I think that's what she's trying to argue. Because later on in the episode, when she's explaining, like, you get this cut, I get that cut.
Yeah, but it sounded like it was more important to her. She just really wanted her brother to get the vasectomy more than anything. Like, more than she wanted the 100%. She just really wants him to get the vasectomy.
What's wrong with not having a few baby mamas?
I would say from, like, we meet the brother later at his age and to already have, a good amount of kids. Maybe that's something he should think about in his life. But as we find out, as this conversation evolves, the only reason he's even against getting the vasectomy is he thinks it's going to affect his work because he's a penis artist.
Yeah.
Now, Gordo, if you could put your scholar hat back on the rack and put your penis artist hat on.
Okay.
What would you, before hearing what it ended up being, what did you think a penis artist was?
Artist that specializes.
Wait, is it penis artist or penis painter?
Yeah, what did she say? What was the exact?
I thought it was painter, maybe.
No, I thought
he said penis painter.
Okay, so I thought before anything, my brain immediately went to he paints other people's penises.
I thought that he painted pictures of penises.
Okay, also a reasonable, I guess, expectation out of a penis painter.
Well, she did ask. She thought that because she said, like, so he paints penises, and then we got no, he paints with his penis. He goes, okay. That's like, so I'll write down cock to canvas. So that was pretty good. And she really wanted to know how it was done, but obviously Ruth didn't want to talk about how her brother used his dick for work.
I mean, that's his job.
He did it at parties. Does portraits.
It's gonna wear on your penis. How many paintings are you doing? That's gotta hurt.
Do you think his dick gets calloused?
I would imagine so, yeah. You're rubbing it up against a canvas constantly, yeah.
Well, I mean, oh boy. Depending on how much paint's on there at any given time.
Yeah.
You gotta stay nice and lathered.
Do you think he uses a condom? Or do you think he's just bare penis?
No, I think he's raw dogging it.
I'm under the impression there's no condom involved.
Yeah, I wasn't either. It's just a thought.
I don't know how you paint with the cornichon, but
I can't paint with my hands in a paintbrush.
Well,
so.
Have you ever tried painting with your penis? Maybe that's what you're missing.
It's true. You have to get a notepad.
You could be the next Rembrandt.
I painted my butt before.
With your butt or painted?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've made a painting with my butt.
That's called shitting yourself, Gordo. You can't call that art. Hey guys, look at this Jackson Pollock I've made.
That would be a Jackson Pollock, but anyways, no. I've actually like slathered my butt cheeks in paint and sat on a canvas. I don't have that painting. I might, maybe.
Can you explain why? Why?
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Were you like alone?
Yeah, of course I was alone.
That's so weird. What do you mean, of course I was alone?
Well, you don't do that in the party.
Apparently you do.
You would.
I'm going to have to see if I still have it. Because if I do, maybe we could put it up for auction.
You can. So it's just an imprint of your butt.
Multiple, and then I painted around it. It was bright pink, and then I used some nice blues to...
How recently did you do this?
I mean, that you're talking 10 years ago.
Oh, way back when you were 30.
Shut up. When you put it like that.
Yeah, it's unacceptable for anybody at any age who's not. I would if you were trying to become an artist, a painter, sure, go for it. You were never trying to do that though, so you're just sticking your ass in paint for no reason.
I could have. Maybe the world wants my butt painting.
How bored do you have to be?
Or how high do you have to be? I'll see if I can find it, but I'm fairly certain my wife made me throw it out.
As she should. So, anyways, this conversation's still going back and forth, and Helen's telling Ruth over and over, like, you cannot legally make him do this. Like, you have to just split it. Like, there's no taking it to court. She's like, well, I think if a judge hears it, she's like, no, you don't get what I'm telling you. There is no court. We're not going to court. Like, no judge. It's not a thing you can even, like, send him to court for. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't really hear your mumbling. It's very irritating. Can you speak up? Like, okay, here you go. 1 second. And then Helen rolls up the papers. Now she's using it as like a megaphone and goes, can you hear me now? You cannot force someone to have a vasectomy. It's against the law. And as it's happening, you see like Ray and Roz can see it like through the window, and like they run in and like they break it up immediately. And he's like, all right, step out. And like Ray gets her out of the room.
I mean, which is probably what you should do in that situation.
Oh, well, yeah. Listen, to watch it, you understand Helen's frustration, right? Because this woman is being impossible. There's no amount of like logic she can give this woman to tell her, we cannot go to court for this. She keeps fighting and keeps fighting and keeps fighting. At
that point, I would say, fine, we can go to court. Judge is going to cost you. The judge is going to toss it out.
Well, she gets into this further later with the sausage roll. But what I think is weird about this, what kind of leaves...
Oh, by the way, I love how that sentence without context is to someone listening who has not watched the show yet.
Sausage roll, yeah.
Oh, what?
What is kind of like strange about this is they get on Helen about this, the Grubers, or Roz does specifically. I think at that point, did she say it and I just don't remember it, that she should just be like, here's what this client wants. It can't be done.
Yeah.
Or does she, I think she just lies and says that she's still working on it because she doesn't want to lose a client. She doesn't want Roz to know she might lose a client, etc. So I think that's why she's just kind of hanging on to saving it. But at this point, she's in trouble, so.
Well, yeah, it's the first time they've given her anyone. And regardless of it, it looks like she can't handle talking to people, like, because this is happening within a couple minutes, right? So we cut to Helen, who's now in Ray's office, and he's like, can you guess what I'm going to say? And she's like, is it, you're right, you can't force someone to have a vasectomy? And if it's about the megaphone thing, I was just trying to make a point because she wasn't listening. And then he goes, is this why you're fired from your job in Sydney? And she goes, how do you know I was fired? Roz rang your old boss and he said you attacked a client. Okay, I didn't attack her. I did shout and I may have called her a silly old whore. But he's like, Jesus Christ, I'm not proud of it.
Was she a silly old whore?
Well, we find out more about that situation later, like, which I think is very important to the story. But here it's like, he's just saying, like, you know, you might have just cost us a client. And do you know what a client is? She goes, a friend you haven't met yet? He goes, no.
I loved her attempt at this.
Yeah. It's money. It's cash money. And then we find out from Roz, who walks in, that Ruth's going to come back tomorrow. And she told her that Helen had a back injury and was on too many painkillers.
You know, reasonable.
But I don't know if painkillers would make you do that.
Should have blamed Ambien.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what did Roseanne blame?
Yeah, I think it was Ambien.
Next scene, well, it's not even like a scene. We have like this little in-between area where we just see George in the kitchen and he's like chopping away at some of like a jar of stale instant coffee.
Yeah, I didn't get this. Like, I don't drink enough instant coffee. Does it get hard?
No, never does.
I don't get what he's
doing. It's completely
then.
Made of brown sugar.
Yeah. Oh, fuck brown sugar. But yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe it's a regional thing that it happens to them and not us.
Maybe it was vacuum packed.
It was in a can, though.
It was like a funny little in-between scene, but like, because earlier when we get like the whole thing with like Roz and she's showing like, this is my stuff, don't touch it. So she has like all these nice coffees for herself. George is stuck drinking apparently a brick of coffee-flavored dust. But yeah, it was that like quick little thing. I was thinking about it, like we've talked coffee a million times, and again, Ferg's not here. but like instant coffee is such a different thing now. Like
It has its applications.
you ever get those ads for like Javi and like the concentrate?
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, God, they'll never be a sponsor now. Someone I work with, I like brought it up, she's like, oh, I bought it. Like, I have extras. I didn't like it. Like, if you want to try it. And she gave me like a bottle of it. Oh my God, did it suck. It was fucking disgusting. That is made for, if you like coffee with like a ton of flavor and sugar and stuff put in it, I guess maybe it tastes enough like coffee that it could like do the trick for you. But like, I just tried mixing it with a little bit of water and oh my God, was it terrible.
I can never get the ratios right on those concentrates. Like, I just can't. And they always taste like shit.
I have no idea what you're talking about with the concentrate. That's
So they have like little bottles in the
like
supermarket.
Mio style?
No. Like
The Javi one's kind of like that, but yeah, but there's other concentrated ones that I've bought before too.
or like think like Snapple can, right? Like Trader Joe's has one that's about the size of like a Snapple. And it's supposed to be super concentrated like cold brew. And you're supposed to take like a ratio of that
okay.
and
I
then
know what
mix
you're
it with
talking about.
water
Yeah.
or whatever. I just can never get it to taste right.
Yeah, I feel like with coffee, it's trickier. Like I drink like the Crystal Light squirty. Like I got legitimately 6 different squirt things for like drinks like next to me as we speak. But like those ones there are like, you know, whether you go light or heavy, it's like it's not the biggest deal. Like it could change from time to time. You get like a vibe for roughly how much you want to squirt.
I get sick of those so quickly.
Oh, I love them. It's like all I drink. But like coffee is so like needs to be like right at that spot to taste right.
Yeah, but as far as like powdered instant coffee, like if you're going like, hiking or camping or something, it's great because I think you do get the vibe. Like if you want a nice shot of caffeine in a warm drink, it's the way to go. Also, you can froth instant coffee really well. So if you want to make like a latte style, you can like really like fluff up an instant coffee for some reason. I don't know why it's easier to do.
I drink instant coffee almost daily.
That's right, you do, yeah.
And like the one that I get, I think it's like Nescafe, but it's like made for iced coffees. Fantastic.
So it's probably double brewed style then. So it's probably like more coffee because it gets watered down by the ice.
Yeah, but it's great. It's great. I make it in the morning with some cold tap water and some
I will
ice
say
cubes.
you're never going to fool me with instant coffee into thinking that it's regular coffee, but I don't dislike it.
It's its own thing.
We don't have Ferg to cut us off, so I'll do it this time.
Oh my God, the coffee talk. Shut up.
I gotta eat like coffee. So we cut to Ray and Roz, and they're talking about Helen. She's like, silly old whore, you're kidding. And then this is when Ray gives us a little bit of like exposition here, though. It's like, oh, well, it turns out the client, the silly old whore, was having an affair with Fisk's husband. And then you have Roz go, I knew there wasn't something quite right about her. It's like, wait, you just
What
heard.
did she do? Yeah.
Yeah, like you just heard a situation that more than justifies why she like yelled at this woman. And you're like, oh, I knew something was off about her.
Yeah.
This is like Ray telling his sister, like, listen, I'm not interviewing any more people. Like, I can't do it. I hate it. Like, you're good at mentoring people. Like, why don't you just work on her? She's like, you're right. I am good at that. So the next scene, and we have Helen walking into that cafe she was kicked out of the other day. She's like, can I get a small flat white, please? And then that Bluetooth guy from last time who's like sitting in the same spot chimes in and goes, no, you can't. And she's like, I don't think you have any say in this. It's like, actually, I do. This is my business. I own the place. And you can go get coffee somewhere else. And she's like, well, just to clarify, like, when you say, and like, like, how long is this ban for? Like this week? Or so now we figured out that like she got kicked out so quickly because she talked shit to the owner.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes more sense now.
But fuck that guy, first of all.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
Fuck that guy. But I do love how like accepting she is of the ban. She's not arguing the ban. She's just curious to the parameters of the ban, which is really funny to me for some reason.
Now, at that point, though, like, I get it. You don't want to give the guy business because he's a piece of shit, but it still is like a product of it's too inconvenient to have to go somewhere else.
Well, we kind of get into it later that they walk the fence on this one, actually, but the other coffee she ends up getting sounds like it could be good, too.
No, she got it from a gas station.
It's not a gas, it's like a convenience store, but the we'll get into it later, but the other person she takes there ends up liking it.
Yes, that is true. So as far as that like went, Nick, you said you clocked that earlier. Like you figured that like this is where that was going to go with that guy.
That he was the owner. Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. See, I didn't.
I didn't either.
So like the whole time when she was getting kicked out, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is she getting kicked out so easy?
Yeah, I felt the same way.
She leaves, and then like we were just talking about, she goes into like basically like a 7-Eleven, like it's a really shitty convenience store. Grabs like coffees there, and then like heads to work.
They also have like an espresso machine. Like you can make like lattes and espressos like, in this shitty convenience store. Don't usually see. You usually just see like just pour this hot black coffee into your cup and be about your day.
Maybe they're importing all those crazy Japanese ones.
People rave about Cumberland Farms coffee. Not to get back on coffee for too long. We're not going to stay on it. Don't worry.
Some people don't mind. Just Ferg.
I've never had, and I am a person who does like my coffee a little sweeter. But even like with the sweetness in it, that coffee sucks. I don't like it at all.
Honestly, couldn't tell you the last time I had it.
I want to say my uncle swears by their coffee.
That's what I'm saying. The people who love it. Like it's all they drink.
Well, it is $1.
It is $1.
I mean, even if it's like marginally okay, even passable, that's a fucking win, dude.
When it comes down to that, like I hate Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to have like an iced coffee that I'm not going to enjoy that much anyways, I'd rather just go to Cumberland Farms or 7-Eleven and spend $1 on one than spend $4 on one and still hate it.
I would say as somebody who likes sweeter coffee, Dunk's overdoes it. It's so fucking sweet. It's like chill, man.
They oversweet everything. Their refreshers are too sweet. Everything they make's too sweet.
I don't mind the sweetness. It's the balance of the coffee. Like there's just like the coffee's just not strong enough.
No, it's super watered down.
Like if the coffee,
because it doesn't matter. They're putting a gallon of sugar in every coffee.
Yeah, but you see, that's where you need like the full-bodied coffee, because then it kind of offsets a little bit of that sweetness. It's kind of like a yin yang, if you will.
I think the full circle we're coming to here is just make your own coffee or find a brand that you can buy and make at home. Just stop going to the Starbucks and the Dunks.
I've said this before on here, maybe before, but like I've gotten to a point where I buy the bottles of pre-made cold brew and I just take that to work now, and it's been fine, and that's been my go-to. Saves me a ton of money, and I think it tastes better.
You just drink one of those entire bottles, don't you? Like you just walk around as like a thermos.
I try not to, but some days I've legit brought the whole 48 ounces to work and drank it pretty quickly.
48. It's bigger than I thought it was, too.
Yeah, it's a 48 ouncer.
You drinking the concentrate?
No. It's pre-made cold brew.
He's just fucking, dude.
This is mainlining coffee.
You fucking take a sip of that, and you're not getting the keys to the bathroom if that's what you're fucking down.
I will say, right now I'm trying to limit my caffeine intake a bit, so I'm down. I haven't had caffeine in over a week right now. But with that said, because that's coffee rant number 2, she makes a few coffees. These dollar brews, and she brings them to work. You know, she gives one to Ray, and like he loves it. He's like, $1. He's like, how do they do it? And she's like, I think they buy cheaper beans. And he like takes a sip. He's like, you know what that tastes like? Savings.
He doesn't say it tastes bad.
No, he doesn't mind it. And like, yep, that's for me. I bought it for you. And so like one goes to Ray, one goes to Roz, and then like the third cup George takes is like, oh, thanks. Which she did not intend to buy one for George, so he took the third one, leaving her with no coffee, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
It's more of the just kind of crappy luck, too.
It is, but also, like, I know, again, we talk about, like, not having any malice behind it. You work with 3 people. Don't walk in and just buy coffee for 2 of them. You know what I mean? Just buy him a coffee. It cost $1.
Yep.
I'm sure the flat white you were going to get at the cafe downstairs was going to cost way more than $4. So
yeah.
So now she walks into Roz's area. It's like, oh, you ready for me now? It's like, oh, do you want to eat your greasy snack first, or do you want to wait? It's like, oh, this just came with the coffee. So she like puts it in her bag. She sits it down and she's like, all right, like we got to work on your people skills. She sits down, and then Roz says to Helen, like, oh, and I like your pantsuit. She's like, oh, thank you. Like, where's it from? And she's like looking at it, and Helen's not picking up that this is a generic conversation just to like teach her how to have small talk with people.
Yeah.
But, Roz has no cares for her pantsuit at all. And she's trying to explain, see what I'm doing? I'm making a connection. Like, often our clients have, like, they lost a loved one. And, like, do you know what they need? She's like, a pantsuit? Like, no, a friend. She's like, so you have to find a way to connect. So I pretended to like your outfit. But if it was a person who likes to cook, like, you can ask them for a recipe. Now, if you remember when Ruth first came in, she was saying to her, like, oh, I got to get that apricot chicken recipe from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, try bringing Jesus in the conversation if they go to church. Like, oh, I wonder what Jesus would do.
This is weird because it's at this point that Roz is kind of teetering to me as a character, because at first they're like, she's unnaturally and unnecessarily rude to Helen. And you can't really figure out why. But then this conversation paints her in a completely different light because she's explaining how to be nice. She wants people to develop the connections with their clients, which somebody who's kind of a shitty person wouldn't care about necessarily. So I'm confused with what this character is supposed to be at this point.
Well, I think we're seeing, though, that conversation can be generic and not earnest, right? So, like, when she's asking about the pantsuit, she doesn't give a fuck.
That's true, yeah. So she's teaching her how to act, basically.
How to be fake, basically. Yeah, and she's doing that by her brother's request, who's basically... Sounds like even though, like, they own the, the place together, the brother kind of has the leg up on her.
Yeah.
We flash forward a little bit, and Ruth is back in the waiting area, and they go to grab her, and like, all right, let's get started. Roz looks at Helen and goes, because... And then Helen's like, that's what Jesus would do? She's like, no, because at Gruber and Gruber, we get results. It's like, I didn't know we had a catchphrase. Like, all right, now I know that. Like, I was like, all right, I'm on it. And then they take her back into Helen's office, and they're going to leave you with Helen again. And George is going to be here and he's going to take notes. And he goes, I'm the webmaster. And she goes, you're a probate clerk. So now we're back in Helen's office and it's her and George and they're working with Ruth again. Again, we're back to that same old conversation like, okay, we have two choices. It's this number or this. Do you understand? No. All right, let me try this again. And then says the same thing. It's this number or it's this. And she's like, it's not going through. George's like, maybe try a pie chart. Sometimes it's easier for them to understand that over the numbers.
I don't know why I really like that little part of the discussion. Try pie chart.
And then Helen's like, okay, I have an idea. She's like, can you get me a knife? And she pulls out like the sausage roll. And by the way, what's the sausage roll? It's like almost like a sausage, like...
It's like a pastashiki.
It's like a what?
A pastashiki. In Poland, they do that. They're called pastashikis. They're basically like a croissant that like you could put like meat filling or like...
Yeah, that's basically what this kind of came off as. And mind you, for quality's sake, for those listening, this was free with purchase of a $1 coffee.
Right.
She pulls it out and she's like, all right, let's pretend this sausage roll represents your mother's money. And then she cuts it in half and she's like, your brother Dean gets half and you get half. That's simple. It's like, okay, does Dean get his procedure? No. She goes, not interested. She's like, okay, let's try this again. And she grabs another one, puts it down on a piece of paper, which happens to be like the service sheet for her mother's funeral. Like, oh, sorry about that. And again, cuts it. She goes, we have Ruth saying, I would prefer if the sausage roll represents Dean's penis and this represents a vasectomy. And then she's like, we get a lot of that, like Helen, like kind of talking to someone, but talking to herself. And it was like, clearly a circumcision gone horribly wrong, not a vasectomy. And she says, listen, if you pursue this, and this is where like we get her doing, I think like you really see her doing her job well. And Helen's like, listen, most of your inheritance is going to get eaten up in legal fees. She's like, look, I'm the lawyer. Watch. And she grabs a sausage roll and starts taking bites. Ooh, that was a legal fee. There's another one. Num, 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 num. She's like, oh, is that Ruth's inheritance? Ooh, yum, 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 yum. And takes like another bite. She's like, and you're not going to get any of that money until it's gone because it's all going to go back to these lawyers over and over. And you're not going to get what you want out of this.
I don't know any other way to dumb it down other than that.
I was going to say, she's beating her head against the wall at this point, trying to get this point across.
Yeah, and the client is not being reasonable. But then again, too, after explaining it once or twice, third time, all right, we're going to do it your way.
Right. Yeah. You kind of have to do that.
Like, you're still a business at the end of the day. If this is what you want to do, then all right, boss.
You would have thought at this point, explaining how the legal fees are going to eat her alive would be the thing to like.
Well, now we're back to it's not really about the money for her. She just really wants her brother to get a fucking effective.
So now it becomes like, all right, I think I need another lawyer. She's like, yeah, I think you need one from Law and Order. And Ruth starts to exit. When Ruth exits, she's like, well, that didn't go well. And George's like, can I have a couple bites of legal fee?
I thought that was wicked funny.
And then Roz walks in and goes, well, how'd it go? Oh, it's good. So, did we get probate on this one? Maybe. She forgot her thing, like the funeral paper. She's like, I'm just going to go grab her. She only has this one left. And like she runs out. And you see her like chase her into that, like, just so happens that Ruth goes into that hipster cafe. As soon as we cut inside, you see her arguing with, like, the owner is actually working the stand now. She's like, but I like it extra hot. And he goes, if I scald the milk, you won't taste the beans. Like, but that's how I like it. And then Helen walks in and he's like, you're banned. He's like, yeah, I know. She's trying to tell Ruth that she like left the paper. And then Ruth's like, oh, good. My lawyer's here. She's like, oh yeah, now I'm your lawyer.
Yeah.
She's like, come on. She's like, let's get out of here. Like, I know a better place where we can get a coffee. And then even as they're walking out though, she's like, but just for clarification, this ban's how long again?
And he never says.
He doesn't give her an answer. Yeah.
He doesn't answer. And then she goes like, you got some pretty lame facial hair. And he goes, you too, lady.
That's a good comeback. I mean, when you're the owner, you can make cool comebacks like that.
Yeah, no, there's like no fear of like any like consequence.
Yep. There's like zero consequence.
So now we have Ruth and Helen and they're like walking down the street together. Helen's like, that guy's super rude. And like, by the way, like, I'm sorry I put a sausage roll on your mom's face. That was a terrible thing. And like, that's okay. It's just been like a really difficult time. It's like, I understand. I know what you're going through. And tells her like, I lost my mom a couple years ago and it was really tough. I understand like these things are really hard. And then when Ruth's like, oh, do you really? She's like, yeah, I mean, I don't have a brother who paints with his knob or anything, obviously, like who does? But, my mom, she passed away a couple years ago and, we were really close and it was hard. So, just let me buy you a coffee and, I'll take you somewhere nice and we'll just have a quick coffee. And she's like, okay, sure. So now she takes it to that convenience store that does the dollar brews. Now it's like, she said like, let me get you a coffee. You didn't have to add, let me take you somewhere nice and like get her hopes up.
Yeah.
But this did work out. So I say, oh, it's one of Melbourne's hidden gems. It's great coffee. They like walk to the back where there's like milk crates. So they just sit in the back where like the milk crates are. And she's like, are we allowed to sit here? It's like, yeah, I do it all the time. I'm like a regular. And then she's like, you want a latte? She's like, oh, yes, please. And then she goes and gets a couple dollar brews. And then now they're in the back drinking their coffees. And Ruth loves it. She's like, this is delicious.
She's really into the coffee.
Yeah, she really is.
And now that they're having like a little bonding moment, Helen's like, listen, I know you don't want to talk about it, but how does he do the painting? It's like, oh God. And she's like, he has a website and like pulls it up for her. And she's like watching a video of him doing it. And like, as she's watching it, the employee walks over and goes, hey, I don't mind if you want to hang back here and pretend this is a cafe and drink like shitty coffee, but you can't watch porn in here, okay? Can you please shut it down?
Dude, he scoped this way too quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, like the second they're like also in the back of this convenience store, like behind an aisle, sitting down, and this guy immediately knew they were watching porn. What a weirdo.
To be fair.
It's also not porn, technically. Yeah.
No.
But to be fair, you've worked in convenience stores before.
Yeah.
If someone went right to the back and started sitting down and slugging back your coffee, would watching porn also be out of the question?
Yeah, but my point is I wouldn't notice right away. This guy noticed immediately.
Get like that porn dar.
Maybe he was stalking like the area nearby and saw it, But if he was still at the counter, like, yeah, that's a no-go.
Maybe he saw it on the cameras if he was up at
Some
the counter.
high-def cameras.
Yeah, that store did not have the high-def cameras.
I mean, you're going to know a schlong.
Especially covered in paint.
Yeah.
Ruth, again, is going on about this coffee. Do you want another one? And she asks Helen that. And Helen's like, yeah, all right. And then Ruth goes, excuse me, to the guy who works there. Michael, can we please get 2 more lattes? He's like, push the button. You just like, go get them yourself. Ooh, grassroots. And now you cut to like them back in the office, and now Ruth is like signing the papers, and they hug and she exits. And now like, we flash forward a little bit more, and we have Helen alone in the office, like working on some papers when Ray walks in. It's like, oh, well done, Fisk. Here we got the probate going for O'Malley, and no one's getting their dick cut off.
I mean, that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And then George walks in and goes, oh, Helen, I fixed your face for the website. And you just see like the most extreme of filters on her face.
This exchange was good.
What would have made that better is if like, like the Snapchat, like they make you look like a mouse or like a doe.
It wasn't far off from that. It was heavily manipulated photo.
Yeah, it was like he slapped like whatever Snapchat filters.
She was trying to be nice, and she said, "Oh, it looks just like me." And he was like, "No, it doesn't. I added like 50 filters to this."
Like it took him 23 minutes.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, and like, listen, I'm not here to judge. We are all of us, like, we're human beings, and we all have our insecurities and shit. So I understand like the appeal of filters. If someone wants to put a filter on their face to feel a little bit better in a video or something they're putting on their story or a picture or whatever, go have at it. It really makes you feel better. But some of them go so hard where they don't even look like the same species anymore.
It's not the using of the filter, it's the thinking people don't know you're using a filter.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, you have problems. Like, this is sad.
Unless it's like intentional, like we've all done it. We've all like looked like a reindeer or like a dog.
Well, yes, that's very different. But yeah, now a lot of them are.
Imagine trying to bet. No, I'm actually a deer.
But again, like, I get it. And, people just want to feel a little better about themselves. But there's a point where you have to like look in the mirror a little bit and go,
it's just like, it's makeup too. Like, it's like, you can always tell when somebody's wearing makeup, but they do it because they want to feel better about themselves too.
Yeah, like I do it all the time.
I only do it for recordings, but for the 4 inches of face you get, like between like my hat, glasses, and facial hair, there's so little of my skin that is even. So now we get to the next scene, and Helen's driving back to her Airbnb, and she walks inside, and there's a man sitting in the kitchen, and rightfully so, she screams.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Was I the only one who thought this was her ex-husband at first?
No, actually, but that makes a lot of sense, but I clocked who it was.
That's who I thought it was, but...
No, I pegged this immediately.
Yeah, so it's Dean, Ruth's brother, and I think that's mostly because like how he was dressed and stuff. He was dressed very carefree.
Yeah, it made sense once I found out, but that was my original thought.
She's like, how do you know where I live? It's like, oh, I rang the office and the webmaster gave me your address. And then your beautiful partner let me in. My what? And then that old Airbnb owner walks out and like hands him a big like bowl of like the pho.
Yeah, he's eating pho.
And she's like, what? That's not we're not together. Like, oh, she's a keeper. There's like a lot of love in this food. He's like, oh, no judgment, love is love. Helen, there's something that I want to do for you. And he like points to the easel that's like next to him. It's like, what? Oh, no. Like, come on, like, please, it would mean a lot to me. You'll love it. No, thanks. But, no. He's like going on. He's like, actually, can you paint from a photograph? And then like you flash to the next morning. It's like, she's already in the office and Ray's walking in. He greets her. It's like, oh, morning, Fisk. He's like, hey, Ray. He's like, great minds. And he's holding up the $1 coffee. He's like, oh, I got you a little something, present for the office. And then reveals the big portrait of Ray. And holy shit, this guy could paint quite a portrait with his dick.
Yeah,
he can.
Did a great job. Fantastic work.
It was a beautiful portrait. He's like, oh shit. And eventually finds out that it was, from Ruth's brother. Like the dick painter, huh? Wow. So that was all done with jizz? And she's like,
What?
no, it's paint. I think it's paint.
I mean, he could be letting off a little bit of goo.
The way he said it too, like so casually.
Yeah.
And was like still like mystified by the painting. And then you have Roz who walks in and sees it too. And it's like, wow, superb. Maybe I should get mine done. Yeah, you could just send him a photo. He'll work right from the photo. It's like, no, I prefer to sit for it. And then she walks off and she's like, she knows it was painted with a cock. Oh, she knows.
And that's how the episode ends, right?
It ends,
Yeah.
but did you watch the credits?
Yeah, did you watch?
Oh, there's something after the credits? I didn't watch after the credits.
You didn't see the credits? Oh my
No.
God.
Yeah, that made this.
Yeah. So the credits start and there's a scene playing in between the credits and it's Roz sitting for her portrait. And
Yep.
it's Dean who's butt naked and like you just see his ass in front of the easel while he's like painting with his dick.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, have you sat with an artist before? Oh, many times. And he's like looking, he's like, up, keep looking at me. He's like, and now we'll get the eyes. And they're talking. It's like, and she's like, oh, so Dean, what kind of medium are you working in? He's like, oh, I prefer acrylics. Like, oh yeah. Anything water-based is best. He's like, oh, that makes sense. He's like, you don't want to be rinsing that brush of yours in turpentine now, do you? And like, yeah, the whole thing was like, he's butt naked, there's paint all over him. I don't know how he got paint all over his ass and shit. But like, you don't see his dick, but you just see like him, you know, his ass a lot. And
Yeah.
and the painting was, I can't believe you didn't see that scene. It's hilarious.
I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's the best part of the episode.
But he said, like, oh, would you like it signed? Like, oh, I'd love it signed. And you just see him like wiggling around. And that's the end.
So he's gotta have like a needle dick.
Yeah, or he can like manipulate it.
See, I thought the opposite. I thought like the guy must have a pipe because it's pliable enough.
Well,
to...
you saw the painting he made, or that he made of Ray, and you could kind of see the brushstrokes. There's nothing like it. You could see the strokes in the same vein as like Van Gogh, I guess, kind of like, you know, he has like the swirls and the strokes. Like it kind of looked like that, but you could get the idea of the head of the penis. I feel like the size of it from the painting.
It was well done, but I'm just sitting there thinking, how do you get like, you need some fine details. Do you use a pube?
Oh, dude.
What?
How did you make penis painting gross? like something that should be disgusting in nature, somehow you made disgusting when it wasn't disgusting.
He's doing it wrong, by the way, if he's not signing every painting by blooping his balls. Like, just mushroom stamping every painting.
Wouldn't that be the Arabian goggles?
No, because it's not on eyes.
Okay, touche.
Well, anyways, with that being said, that was the end of the episode. And there's not a lot to say about the show. There's not like a lot of extra info. Like I said, 3 seasons, maybe a 4th down the road at some point. Who knows? But other than that, we're kind of done at 3. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we get into the green light.
No, there's not a whole lot on this show. It seems like I originally thought that maybe there wasn't a whole lot because I'm just unfamiliar with the Australian actors. And it just seems like a lot of these actors also haven't done much. So I don't know. It's just, there's not a ton about the show out there. Seems like Kitty Flanagan's probably the most famous one out of them all. I could be completely wrong too. Like somebody in Australia is probably
That's
like,
true.
what the fuck is this idiot talking about? Like they're all, but just from my, you know, top level IMDb and Google Wiki research, it doesn't seem like any of these people are jumping out as super famous in something else.
A lot of the shows we've covered from other countries, like we've done our share from like England and Canada. And like you have all these shows that like are very popular in their country, and then everyone in the show kind of exists on that show and like doesn't do a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And like you almost go like, did you make enough money that you could just kind of just exist in this one project?
Yeah. I mean, like you wonder about somebody like, say, like Rainn Wilson. Like, was he typecasted too hard, or did he just not need to work? I fear the former with him. I think he was really typecasted.
Yeah, but that show at least took like 9 seasons, and by the end his contract's huge and he's making money and he's done other things. But these shows are like running like, oh, there was 2, a lot of them are like 2 series and they lasted, 12 episodes. A lot of these people, like, just for whatever reason, at least in the ones we've covered, when you look at a lot of the shows and like what else have they done, there's not a lot going on with a lot of the characters.
Right.
And even the bigger ones, you have like the Trailer Park Boys and the things of that nature where like they just kind of stay in that world. Not everybody, but like a lot of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trailer Park Boys is a good example because they tried here and there to expand, but like they are the Trailer Park Boys.
Just stick with what you know, I guess. If you can make a a modest living that way. Why complicate it?
Yeah, with that being said, might as well get into the green light or cancel. Again, there's only 3 out of the 5 of us right now. As far as Joe and Ferg are concerned, like obviously their votes will matter, and they'll be in, you'll see a post later in the week, and that'll express all of them. So in the event that there's not a definitive answer here, which would, for that to happen, all 3 of us would have to be in agreement, you'll get the end result later in the week. With that being said, Nick, I'll start with you.
Yeah, this was a really fun watch. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. The main character is one of the funniest on the show, which is something obviously you want out of a main character. Supporting cast, great. I loved Ray. Ray didn't have a ton of, he didn't have a robust amount of lines or anything per se, but everything he had was very funny. Roz was great. Again, I was a little confused on who this person is supposed to be, but not in a bad way, I don't think. George was great. Everything was good. I'm caught up in the story. I want to see what happens with this law firm and with Helen working there. It's a very well done workplace comedy. It hits all the right spots, and I'm definitely going to keep watching. I'm really sad to see that there's only 18 episodes over these 3 seasons. Really short seasons, so I could binge this in a day, no problem. But yeah, no, easy green light. I'm happy that this was suggested to us because I don't think I would have seen it otherwise, and I'm really glad I did.
Gordo.
I'm going the complete opposite here. I'm canceling it, and it was a pretty easy cancel for me. I didn't really laugh much in this episode. I found Helen to just be annoying and just irritable. Like, she doesn't stand up for herself. She puts herself in these awkward situations, but weird awkward. I don't know. I didn't like that approach to the main character. Like I said, there were highlights in it, like the side characters were okay. Ray, I agree, was good. Roz, I didn't care for, and I can see that, different clients are going to come in each week, and that might be a little appealing. But also, too, is every fucking episode 28 minutes? Because that was the thing. It was just long, too. They cut those 6 minutes of bullshit out. It would be an easy green light, but it was too long for me. Dry, too long, so cancel for me.
This just in, Gordo does not like it dry and long.
Well,
short and wet.
This doesn't necessarily mean that I do like it dry and long, but I am going to give it the green light. Yeah, no, I'll say this. Now, so I watched it a couple times because I like to watch it without having to take my notes, and then I kind of do my stuff after. I was a little in the air. I was more on board watching it the second time. One thing about this show is there is a lot of nuance to it, and you have to pay attention to what's being said because there's a lot of quick conversation. You can easily miss something that's kind of important. So I felt like there were things that confused me, even after twice with Roz's situation that I was a little in the dark about. But I thought overall the chemistry between everybody on the cast was great. I thought it was funny and relatable. Yeah, I would keep watching it. It's one of those shows that, again, exists on Netflix. It's buried in there. They've never done anything to promote it, to let you know it's there. Not that it's a big deal. It's but make the stuff findable. If you're going to pay to put it on your platform, make it so people can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a good watch, and I would have never known it existed. So to Bex, who presented it to us, thank you. In the meantime, we are not all in agreement, so we don't have a final determination on whether or not we're going to greenlight or cancel. So you're going to have to stay on our social medias for that. Again, S1E1pod.com. We'll take you to where you can find those, and it will be on Instagram eventually once I know Joe and Ferg's picks. So to all of you who listen, thank you so much. Thank you again to Bex who picked this episode. Thank you to anyone who participated in Fanuary in general, and hopefully it's bigger and more expansive next year. But yeah, that's it for this week. We'll catch you again next week with another new episode. And until then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the best penis painter.